What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Investing Bros channel. And in today's video, we have episode 7 of Rate My Portfolio, a series that we've been doing on the channel where you, the viewers, can submit your portfolio and get my feedback on if this was my portfolio, how I would make some changes. And today we have a portfolio currently over $200,000 in value that Ricky has submitted. And I'm going to give my feedback to Ricky and you guys. I'm gonna let you know, this is one of the best portfolios that I have seen submitted yet. So you're gonna wanna pull out your pen, pull out your notepad, take some notes. As always, though, make sure if you enjoy this content to smash that like button and hit subscribe. We are almost to 50,000 subscribers, but we need your help. Smash subscribe right now. But first, before we get into the content, we gotta roll an intro. All right, everybody, before we get into the meat of the video, I want to remind everybody that I am not a financial advisor. This video is not financial advice. This is simply entertainment and educational purposes only. I'm going to look at this portfolio as if it was mine and give my feedback on how I would change this portfolio if it was mine. Ricky does not have to do anything. You guys do not have to take anything I say in this video and it automatically apply it to yours. I just want to give you feedback on how I think about the markets. One of the things I like to say is to tell people with this kind of content, chew up the meat, spit out the bones. I might say some things that you really like. I might say some things that you don't totally agree with. Take what you like, apply it. Do not take what you don't like. You don't have to make every single selection or change that I would make. That being said, like I told you a second ago, this is a great portfolio. I'm going to let you know there's 2 changes, very minor changes that I will make. I'll cover at the end of the video. But other than that, Ricky has done a phenomenal job. And with that, let's get into what's going on here. Now, if you haven't watched one of these videos, you might not know what the series is going to be. Let me lay it out for you. I have 5 criteria that I judge every single portfolio by. I'm going to have coin selection. Are these good coins to buy? Would I myself look at investing in them? Number 2, goals. We always have the portfolio review, have goals. People submit their goals, how much they want to see this portfolio get to. And I judge it on, is it realistic? Is it attainable? Are they being too aggressive, or is it a good goal? Diversification. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. You want to make sure you're spread out across a couple different fields. Niche. There's 5 niches we'll get to when we get to the niche section, but there's 5 niches in crypto that have the potential to be special during this bull market. And I think people need to have adequate exposure to all 5 of them. Then the last one is going to be risk to reward. If you want to have a big reward, you got to put in a good amount of risk, but we want to make sure we temper that risk and have a good ratio. So compared to the number that's being submitted to the goals that are had, how does this risk to reward ratio hold up? With that said, let's get into criteria number 1. It's going to be coin selection. Now let's go in here and look. He's got 20 coins, little high for me, especially with a portfolio over $235,000. But you know what? I'm okay with it. There's 2 that I would say maybe we can get rid of here for certain. But let's get into the details of what he owns. He has Bitcoin, Chainlink, Solana, Sui, XRP, Ethereum, AVAX, Ondo, HBAR, Render, Super, Near, FET, Arweave, VeChain, Pepe, Shiba Inu, Doge, WIF, and Axel, AXL. And so that's a lot of coins right there. But if I'm really digging into the details, I don't own all of these coins, but the ones that he owns here, even the ones I don't have, I'm not going to necessarily go against. Even meme coins. I'm not a big meme coin person, but the first 3 has Pepe, Sheeb, and Doge. These are so mature in what they've done and their community. I don't really even consider these ones meme coins. Now, I don't own any of the 3 of them, but I'm also not going to dock him for choosing those either. The rest of the coins on this list make a lot of sense because either they're amazing coins that have great potential. The only two coins that I think that he could part with is going to be WIF and Axel. These are smaller coins. I think there's a little more risk that comes with them. You look at some charts, they're not the greatest looking charts. With that said, they don't even come close to 1% of his portfolio. So if he wants to go ahead and hold them, if Ricky wants to hold them, be my guest. I think this makes up a grand total of roughly $1,300 of his $235,000 portfolio. So not a very big deal whatsoever. But I'm going to dock him 1 point from a perfect score of 10. I'm going to give him a 9 on his coin selection. That's a very good score. The other 18 coins, I think there's arguments that could be said. Yes, these are good coins. I understand why you're invested in them. You're going to make profit on these investments. Let's move to criteria number 2, though. That is the goals. So he submitted a portfolio. He actually submitted his portfolio a couple of weeks ago. His portfolio was a little higher. He roughly told me a 5 to 7x, or in other words, he wants to see his portfolio get to a $1.6 million valuation or 2.2 million. Now, this portfolio has fallen. When he submitted it, it was worth 315,000. Now it's worth 235. So instead of a 5 to 7x, we're really looking at a 6 to 9x situation here. This is going to be so close. And I'm going to get into some details later as far as where I think these can get to. I'm going to give you my predictions on where this portfolio can be. 3 different options: a bearish case scenario, a realistic case scenario, and then a crazy moon boy scenario. Where can this portfolio get to? And we're going to be right on the edge in our realistic assessment of getting to these goals. So I'm going to give him a 9 on goals because he's going to be so close. There's one change I would make to this portfolio that I think would put you over the edge and secure a pretty safe, realistic goal that you can get that 2.2 million here. But I want to make sure we're clear. This is looking good already. It's a little on the edge. Okay. So I'm going to give you a 9. You are so close to being perfect. There's just one little tinker that I would make that I think could get this over the edge to be more safely a $2.2 million portfolio. With that said, let's go to the third criteria, diversification. And hey, doing great right here. I'm going to give you a 9 on this one as well. We're going to be very quick here. There's one issue, only one issue, and it's minor because this coin, I think, could be on that 5 to 7x plane, but it's also one of the things that's going to keep you back from maybe accomplishing your goal. The only issue I have with the diversification, you are so well spread out throughout all of this, but it's going to be Solana. Solana, you're a little bit heavy. And for more on that, let's take a look at the details of how much money he has invested in each of these coins. Right now, his Bitcoin holding is worth just under $12,000. I'm very much okay with that. 12,000 out of 235,000, not a big deal. Chainlink is just below $20,000. I love that. Solana, it's $75,000. So not only it's 50% of your portfolio or anything, but by far Solana is his largest holding with $75,000. And I see Solana being probably a 5 to 7x maybe, but we're looking for a 6 to 9x, which means your largest holding might somewhat hurt the ability to get to that high level. I'll tell you what I would say about that if this was my portfolio a little bit later. But 75,000 into Solana, that's going to be a little bit of concern. Sui, your second highest holding, $41,600. But I love Sui. Could you diversify a little bit more and go a little less than that and spread out into other things? Maybe. But I like that. I like 41,000 in Sui. XRP, you have just under 11,000. Ethereum, you have just over 11,000. AVAX, you have 13,000. Ondo, you have 12,400. HBAR, $2,300. Render, $2,700. Super, $3,600. Maybe a little less Super. I don't know why you'd own more Super than some of these other coins, but you know what? I think Super could still do very well. Near, you have $10,700. FET, you have $800. Arweave, $1,600. VeChain, $1,700. Pepe, you have $1,600. Shiba Inu, $2,000. Doge, $11,400. And then, as we said before, WIF, $700. Axel, $600. They're the 2 I would remove, but that's only going to save you $1,300 to move somewhere else. The biggest ones I'm looking at here that I would say, hey, maybe a reallotment, 75,000 in Solana. It's a little high. So I think if you could move that into some other things, I'm going to tell you later what I would consider going into. That's the only thing keeping you from a perfect 10 on diversification. You're going to get a 9. With that said, let's move into the fourth criteria, and that is niches. And there are 5 niches that I think everyone should be allotted to in some form or another. You got to be in layer ones. Layer ones are the big deal in the world of crypto. Real world assets as well. You got to be involved in real world assets. ISO 222 tokens for clarity and regulation and universal adoption. I know AI has not been doing well recently, but I think that the future of AI is still very big. Crypto AI is still something you want to have exposure to. And the last one is DPIN. You want to be in these. And this is, I think, the first time that we are gonna get a 10 on niche from any of our portfolio submissions because you have several coins in each category. Let's go through it. In layer ones, you have Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, and AVAX. Great options there. Real world assets, one of my favorite ones to have here. You have Chainlink, AVAX, and Ondo. Do you need all three? Maybe AVAX is the weakest of them all. You could ask the question, do I need to hold AVAX? I myself do hold AVAX, so I'm not telling you to get rid of it. I'm just saying if anyone wants to make an adjustment to limit down, you could limit some of those. But love what you have there. ISO 222 tokens. You have both XRP and HBAR, both very good options there. Love that. For AI, you have Render, FET, and Near. These are the three biggest and most promising AI plays in my personal opinion. And then for DPIN, Render is also a DPIN as well as AI. You have both Render and Arweave. And I know Arweave's chart isn't the greatest looking chart. Anyone who's watched this video knows that I've seen that chart. I don't love it. But I think having exposure to it to get exposure to DPIN makes a lot of sense. So that's why I'm not docking him for owning Arweave. He's got multiple coins in all 5 categories. That is a perfect 10 when it comes to niche. Great job, Ricky. Last criteria, number 5, risk to reward. You're going to get a 9 here. Only reason why, again, because you had a 9 on goals, a 9 on diversification, and a 9 on coin selection. That's going to give you also a 9 in risk to reward. I don't think this is a very risky portfolio whatsoever, but I think that potentially, again, as I said during the goals and diversification section, you might be holding yourself back just a little bit. You actually might not be risky enough to get to that $2.2 million goal that you want. You're on the edge. This portfolio absolutely could be exactly what you need. And for that, we're going to break into my expectations. I'm not going to give price predictions here, but on my expectations for where this portfolio could be. And with that, after that, I'll give you my criteria, my 2 corrections that I would potentially make. So let's get into it. So I have 3 different scenarios I do with all of my predictions, all of these portfolio reviews. I talk about a potentially disappointing looking bull market. What I see on this is maybe we only make it towards like $6 trillion in market cap. Right? That would be very disappointing for all of crypto to only make it there. Realistically, I still see us getting over $11 trillion, maybe pushing 12 trillion, 13 trillion. That's kind of my realistic conservative expectation. And then there's a moon boy situation where maybe we see crypto go over $20 trillion in market cap. Where do I see this portfolio getting to if this happens in the way it's currently split? Well, in a very disappointing bull market, I still think that we could see this portfolio get over $1 million. For Ricky, that's a little over a 4x from here, not quite to the lower level of that 1.6 million that he wants. But honestly, if you're walking away from this bull market disappointed and you're still up over 4x in your investments with $1 million, that is a very good thing. Very good portfolio right there. It just doesn't quite get to his goals. Go to our realistic scenario. Again, let's pretend crypto gets closer to or over $11 trillion in market cap. This is where it gets fringier because I could see with the way this portfolio is currently broken down and where I think these coins could get to, I could see this portfolio hitting $2.2 million, just a little over it, 2.2 million and 8,000, right? So just $8,000 over his goal here. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence. I would really like to see this go a little higher, right? I'd like to see the disappointing one be a little closer to 1.6. I would like to see the realistic level maybe be closer to 2.5, 2.6. So if we're a little off in details, we get that 2.2. But that's why he's getting such a great score, which, by the way, if you hadn't added up all the numbers, his 999,910 gives him a 46-point score on a portfolio rating. This is a portfolio that could hit his goals. We really could hit 2.2 in a realistic scenario, but I ideally would like to stretch this a little higher. That's why I'm saying that. But let's go to a moon boy potential. Let's say crypto goes to $20 trillion. Well, then I see this portfolio probably getting just under or around $4 million. I'm not planning or preparing for a massive $20 trillion market cap, but I think it could happen. And that's why I'm open to the possibility. That being said, I really think that Ricky and everybody else should be thinking about that realistic target, the realistic expectation of closer to 11 trillion, in which this portfolio looks like a $2.2 million portfolio. However, how do we maybe get it over the edge to feel more secure about it? What are two changes that I would make to this portfolio to get it to be a safer pick for 2.2 mil? The number one situation I would say, and I mentioned it earlier, is consolidate. You have 20 tokens here, and I know I talked about two of them, Whiff and Axel. You could probably get rid of. That just doesn't change a whole lot with your portfolio because it's such a small holding. You got a lot of coins on here, and a lot of them are good, but you really could limit it down to a couple fewer choices. Myself, even though I'm not going to dock you for it, I think holding three different meme plays in Pepe, Sheeb, and Doge, maybe you want to choose one and go all in on it. I myself, because the potential, might choose Pepe here. It's the smallest market cap, yet still has a massive community. It's not that it'll outperform Sheeb or Doge in the sense of going higher than them, but it could have more return on your investment simply because it has a smaller market cap. You also, as I said earlier, you have three real world asset plays. You could this down to just two of them. And in myself, I would say Chainlink and Ondo are going to be more valuable than AVAX. You also could take a look at a couple layer ones and say, I don't need a lot of layer ones or a lot of AI plays. I can limit these down. That's completely up to every individual. I myself only hold somewhere in the world of, I think it's like 12 coins at this point, but that's one critique. Very small, very small. The other one I mentioned already, and that would be going a little bit lower in your holding on Solana, switching that Solana out for some other coins. And if this was my portfolio, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Ricky does whatever he wants to do. The rest of you do whatever you want to do. But if I had $75,000 of Solana right now, and that was my largest play in this portfolio, I probably would reallocate that into coins I'm feeling more confident about getting over that 9x goal and getting me over the $2.2 million goal for my portfolio as a whole. I would probably move some of my Solana, not all. I'd probably get this down closer towards $30,000 to $40,000 in my portfolio. I would take the other, again, $40,000 and split it, maybe get a little bit more Link, definitely a little more Ondo. You only have $12,000 of Ondo. I would increase the Ondo holding, and maybe another one, a coin that I think is going to do very well and it's doing very well, but you only own 2.3 thousand of it, is HBAR. Absolutely get that HBAR level up, maybe push it closer towards the $10,000 level of this portfolio at the moment. That's a big play that I think if you made that, if you consolidated a little bit and you took some of this Solana and moved it into these other high play coins, I have no reason to not give this portfolio a perfect 50, a 10 on every single level. But with that said, it is still a very good one. Ricky, you have done a fantastic job. The best of luck to you in this bull market. With that said, though, that's the end of today's video. If you did enjoy it, please go ahead and smash that like button and hit subscribe. If you want your portfolio to be reviewed just like Ricky's, make sure to go join our free Discord in the link down below and submit a ticket with the details of your portfolio. What do you hold? How much do you want it to get to? What are your goals for it to get to? Let us know if we can use your real name for content or not. All of that can be found, though, in our Discord. Go sign up right now. With that said, though, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios. Well, looky there, you made it to the end of the video. That means you either really liked it or really hated it. And either way, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments down below because it really does help us create better content for you, the viewers. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to check out our channel because we have a lot of content just like this as we seek to help educate every single person on how to actually create financial freedom for themselves and their families. But to make sure that you see those videos, hit that subscribe button and like all of our content as it really does help us out. If you want to go a step further and connect with the bros even more, make sure to check out our free Discord down below where the chat never stops and you'll be surrounded by a community of people just like you who want to better themselves. Go ahead and click on it. We'll see you in the next one.